What is it like to have a sister who is obsessed with her younger brother? The effeminate boy just stood under the stairs, lost in thought. Suddenly, a sister fell from the sky and hugged him tightly. And the next moment, even his first kiss was taken away. The poor male lead lost his first time before even getting a girlfriend. Before this, the male lead was training a bear and a wolf to follow commands, although they could convey simple messages. When it came to complex commands, the male lead tried to write out command spells to communicate, but they simply couldn't understand the meaning of the spells. That's why he came to seek advice from his sister. She is the sixth princess of the kingdom. She gives the male lead a loving hug as soon as they meet. She has a natural love for small animals, and she has so many animals that she could open a zoo. Not just ordinary cats, dogs, reptiles, and birds. She even keeps magical beasts in this tower. The sister guessed that the male lead came here for Xiaozi. They stuck together as soon as they met. After all, being big and soft, Xiaozi's touch must feel very nice. It's impossible to know how to communicate with the magical beasts. She was about to persuade the male lead to go back, and the next moment, Zalufa's hair was silently kissed away by the magical beast. This is the junior fennel that the sister raises. The male lead didn't even sense its approaching presence. But what he was more curious about was when the sister gave the command for the magical beast to come over and perform a series of actions. Seeing such a magical scene, the male lead immediately wanted to learn how to communicate with his own Xiaobai. Training can be very harsh, you know. I like it this way. Then I'll tell you. 2. Communicate with the animal's soul. The secret lies in. What? The sister tells the male lead that the key is love. With this abstract answer, the male lead doesn't understand how to proceed for the time being. The maid on the side teased that the sister is just naturally an enticing saint. Everyone can clearly do it too. It's just that light and airy poof feeling. With just a thought from the sister, the three of them are instantly surrounded by animals. The commands she gives to Xiaobai are orders, while what the sister does with the animals is a form of sharing. In the moment when the animals simultaneously take action, the male lead sees the sister directly sending magic from her head to the animals. Using magic to link the heads and hearts of the animals directly, conveying inner thoughts. This is not giving orders, but synchronizing imagery. Thoughts. Shared between each other. Clearly, no orders were given, but a bond was formed. First, turn 3 times. The male lead successfully conveyed his thoughts through his own attempts. The sister still insists that it is because of love. The male lead does not deny it. Love is also very important in this process. It is precisely because of the presence of love that resonance can be established with the magical beasts. Otherwise, they would not be willing to act. Lloyd. Wait, sister. Your head is still connected to the animals. Stop, please stop sharing. Zalufa and Alice, please leave quickly. And he still couldn't believe this was real, thinking the male lead was just bragging. Although he has been interested in magic since childhood, he doesn't have the talent in that area. Since the age of 10, he has been studying blacksmithing in a neighboring country. There's no reason to be surpassed by his younger brother. Saying this, he took out materials, preparing for the male lead to add magic to the weapon on the spot. He wanted to use this method to properly educate his boastful younger brother. The male lead smoothly completed the weapon's additional magic with a graceful operation. The older brother appeared somewhat embarrassed. Originally intending to embarrass the male lead, he didn't expect the clown to be himself. Looking at the completed long sword in front of him, he fell into contemplation. The craftsmanship on this sword has exceeded his cognitive range. What was unexpected was that the next moment he became excited again. He thought that by cooperating with the male lead, they might be able to forge the strongest magic sword. Common additional magic is usually applied to finished weapons, but what he wants to do is to integrate advanced techniques from the steel forging stage. He even hopes that in the future, everyone in the country will have a magic sword to use, to enable even those who do not know magic to release magic with the magic sword. Master, what kind of magic should I choose? I think fire would be a good choice. Just one strike and it will ignite. It feels very cool, right? Then let's go with the intense fireball. After saying that, he compressed the 14-section spell of the intense fireball into 2 sections, then gently placed it on the surface of the iron block. However, the first attempt resulted in the steel cracking directly due to the heavy spell. Thinking that reducing the compression ratio and changing it to a 4-section spell should work better, he kept trying until he could successfully place it on the steel. However, after just a few strikes, it cracked again. Suddenly, the magical pet told him that there was something strange about the magic essence, and this was the cheap material his brother had bought during the discount sale. If he wanted to forge a magic sword, this level of purity would definitely not be enough. The male lead had no choice but to decide to go back to the underground dungeon to obtain a magic core. Unexpectedly, Zalufa agreed to this. The first thing, of course, was to register at the Adventurers Guild. After completing the registration information, they moved on to the tense and exciting crystal ball testing phase. In order to prevent the crystal ball from exploding, the male lead had tried his best to compress the magic to below 10%, but in the end, the magic level measured as high as grade A. This caused dissatisfaction among the adventurers behind him. They had conquered numerous underground dungeons with godlike powerful strength. After leveling up to grade A, they suddenly stopped being adventurers. That legendary swordswoman, Lady of the Sword, as she is known. How could a level E little demon compare to her? Miss Katerina, we would like to quickly accept missions related to the underground dungeons. Don't worry about this little demon. Come with us to the dungeon for a date. Let's have a good time together. You've picked the wrong partner. Miss Zalufa is indeed the Lady of the Sword. However, as a novice, in order to accept dungeon missions, you need at least one adventurer of grade B or higher to accompany you. Even if Zalufa re-registers, her level can only start from grade C. At this moment, Chinami Momotaro appears again. Since their last parting, he has been searching for Lobert, but still no results, even after thoroughly exploring the dungeons. However, their strength has increased significantly. So, how about this mission? Return that cloak. I don't want it. Speaking of which, Zalufa used to be an adventurer of this guild, right? It's really embarrassing. I became an adventurer for the sake of training. At that time, their strength was still not up to par. Afterwards, the 3 of them went to the dungeon together to defeat monsters, and successfully obtained the dungeon's core. In the evening, the male lead successfully brought back the materials. After the final attempt, they finally completed the forging of the magic sword. Look, it's empty now, right? No, it's dispersed like smoke and clouds. I accidentally put too much effort into it. Next time, I have to make it weaker.